All right. So now we're going to dive into the logical operator, and this is where you will see how we use the logical operator to perform logical operations. Okay. And what is the logical operators? Logical operators are used to combine conditional statements. Okay. And there are three types of these operators. We have the first one to be AND, which is A and D. And we have the second one to be OR, which is OR, and we have the third one to be NOT, which is NOT. Okay, so now what we are going to do right now is to create a new file here, and we call it Python file because we are still dealing with the Python code, and we are going to call this the logical operator. So let's make it small letter. Okay, logical operator. Then we hit the enter keyboard, and that will create the file right here with the .py extension. And we just mentioned that we have three types of this operator. So let's make a comment here and write those uh, operators out. So we call it logical operators. And I put a colon, then the operators will follow. So the first one is the AND, which is the hand, and the third one is the OR. Second one is the OR, which is HOR, and the third one is the NOT, which is not. Okay, so we basically have these three. Okay, and we are going to be talking about these three operators, and you can see that I put a space in between each of them just to separate them. So now what I'm going to do right here is to give an example for each of these operator, which we just mentioned. And the first one, as I mentioned, is the hand operator. Okay. So now let's say we have basically a variable. So I'm going to use the variable hex right here, and we store some value. So let's say we store 6 inside our variable. So here you can see that we're using the assignment operator, which we already discussed. And this is the variable, which we name as X. You can name your variable to be anything you want. So we discussed about that. And if you miss something, you can go back to the variable section and try to read about that. So now what we did is we store 6 into the variable, and I want to print out something here. Mind you, we want to use the hand operator, and we mentioned that the hand operator is going to basically return true if the both statements are true. Okay, so that's what is going to happen. So let's check the statements that we want to compare, and then return if the statements are true. So let's say whatever we store in X, we compare it with a value, for instance, 3, and S is greater than 3. We know that that is true. So if I basically print the result, that should give me true because we have the knowledge of the comparison operator, and we know that that is going to be true by the time we compare them, right? But now we are talking about a logical operator. So it uses the statement. So we can refer to this as the for statement. Then we have the and, right? Just like the English statements. So if you want to combine the statements together, so these and this, okay? So now what follows is we also compare another value, right?